I've lost about 35 pounds after menopause with the help of GLP-1 medications, and there's one thing I've been eating every day that's working really well for me. It's not fancy, but it's a simple habit that I'm going to share with you today, plus the strategies I use to make it work on busy days or days when I'm not that hungry, and even days when I'm eating out or ordering food in. So steal whatever you want that will help with your health journey. Okay, let's go. If you're new here, hi, I'm Bobby. I started a GLP-1 just over a year ago. I just took my 55th shot, and I'm currently on 7.5 milligrams of Zepbound. My starting weight was 210.1 pounds, and the last time I weighed myself, I was 175. More about that next week when I do a full check-in with my body composition update. Just a reminder, I am not a medical doctor, and although I'm a therapist, I'm not your therapist. So always check with your own healthcare providers when you're making decisions for yourself. Okay, what is this one thing I eat every day? Brace yourselves, I said it wasn't fancy. Every day I eat a salad. It is a simple anchor habit that helps me reduce decision fatigue. And I'm honestly not sure why I haven't talked about it here before, because it's not actually new. It's something that I started trying to do about 10 or 12 years ago. It was almost like a challenge to eat a salad every day. And it wasn't for weight loss so much as to eat healthier, to get more vegetables. And what I found out pretty early on is having a salad every day isn't just a habit that helps me add in things I want to add in, like vegetables. It was also about what that salad meal ended up replacing. If I have to decide every day, like, what's for lunch? If every day I know that I'm having a salad, then I'm filling up on vegetables and more. We'll get to that in a little bit, which is not just helping me get my vegetables, but taking the place of things that I don't need more of. And I want to be clear, I'm not eating the same salad every day. You'll learn more about that later on in the episode, that it can look an infinite number of ways, but there is a formula you can follow. So it really does just take all of the decision making out of it and makes it a really easy, healthy habit. As you'll see when I walk you through this, it helps you get veggies, fiber, protein, all the things that are important when you're taking a GLP-1 or when you're on a health journey or a weight loss journey. And it just helps your overall nutrition. Okay, so my daily salad formula is pretty simple. The basis of any salad is going to be some kind of dark green vegetable, usually leafy, but not always. By leafy vegetables, I mean lettuce, spinach, kale, cabbage, and cabbage isn't always green. You can use the red cabbage. Even kale comes in a purple color, so you can mix it up. And then to add a pop of fiber, I like to throw in a half a cup of some kind of beans. I keep canned beans in my pantry, so there's always some kind of bean to draw on. And a half a cup of beans has a lot of fiber. I'm gonna put the range up here because it kind of depends, depending on the bean, but you can expect to get like 10-ish grams of fiber from a half a cup of beans. That's like a third of what you need every day. Then let's talk about the protein in your salad. I always add a protein to my daily salad. It can be anything. That's the beauty of the formula, is you've got a slot for the protein, but you can fill it with tofu, chicken, salmon, eggs, cottage cheese, more beans if you want. And then depending on if you're hungry or if you're not that hungry, you can add in more volume veggies. There's an idea around volume eating. If you're finding yourself really hungry, like maybe it's towards the end of the week before your next GLP-1 shot, coffee. You know, and your appetite's kind of coming back, that's when you turn to volume eating and you add in bell peppers, cucumbers, tomatoes, like any other veggies you want to bulk up the size of your meal. But if you're in a phase where the dose you're on is really suppressing your appetite, you know, you don't have to add all those vegetables in, or you could just add in a few for variety. But that volume eating is like a lever that you can use just depending on your appetite to change the size of your meal, depending on how you're feeling. Now, a word about carbs. I know a lot of you are tracking your carbs, watching your carbs, and in some cases restricting your carbs because you have diabetes or for whatever reason. I kind of watch my carbs, but I haven't been tracking them. I've been tracking my protein and fiber, and in general, I get like 150 grams of carbs or less per day, but I don't track it really carefully. I just kind of know that I'm not eating a lot of bread and starchy carbs and things like that. So I do add a whole grain to my salad. I didn't always do that. I left out the starchy carbs from my salads in the past, like before GLP-1s, because I was usually focused on volume eating, and starchy carbs isn't something that you would up the volume on if you were trying to fill yourself up but stay in a calorie deficit. But these days, I've been working with my dietitian to just eat more balanced. So these days, I am putting about a half a cup of starchy carbs into my salads. That can be brown rice, roasted sweet potatoes, and it's not going to break the carb bank. Like a half a cup of brown rice has 25 grams of carbs in it. It breaks the bank if you're keto, because if you're keto, you're eating 20 grams or less of carbs per day. But I'm definitely not keto. I'm eating about 150 grams of carbs a day. So 25 grams of brown rice in a salad is just giving me some micronutrients, some fiber, some balance to my meal. So like I said, your goals may vary, and you might be watching your carbs and you might leave out the starchy carb part of the formula. You got to do whatever works for you. Same with the healthy fats. Healthy fat's really important. We need a certain amount of fat, but it is very calorie dense. So you might be carefully tracking the fat you eat. Because I've been struggling to eat enough, I am not super restrictive with my fats. So in a salad, I might put some avocado in it, add some nuts and seeds. All of these are going to add some really healthy fats to the salad. And then finally, the dressing is a real choose your own adventure. Sometimes I make my own dressing, and it's with balsamic vinegar and olive oil. And I'll put the recipe up here, but it's really simple. Other times I'll use bottled dressing. Bolthouse makes a lot of really nice yogurt-based dressings that are low in calories. And again, you get to kind of decide what dressing you want to use. If you're enjoying this, please remember to hit like and subscribe. It really helps the channel, and it helps other people who are looking for this kind of content find videos like this. Also, if you want to hear more from me, you can join my email newsletter. I send out an email about every 2 weeks, and the link is in the description below. And once you sign up, you automatically, like the first email you get has my protein smoothie recipe in it. My email newsletter is where I share things that I don't want to put on YouTube or that just don't fit in my videos. So there'll be extra like pictures or recipes or whatnot in my newsletter. And it's a fun way to keep in touch. I am a big fan of salad jars as meal prep, and lately I've been kind of alternating between meal delivery with Thistle because they deliver really nice salads, and making my own. And when I do make my own, I usually prep them and put them in quart jars, and I layer them. I put the dressing at the bottom and then put the beans on top of the dressing, because the beans can marinate in the dressing without getting like soggy or gross the way that lettuce might or spinach. And then the beans will be kind of this buffer between the dressing and the rest of the vegetables. And then I put in whatever grains and volume veggies or starchy carbs in the middle. Then the greens go on top. And then on the very top, I put the nuts or seeds, or if I'm doing something just kind of fun and tasty like dried cranberries or something, I put those on the very top. And then I have a nice layer of salad that when I dump it out into a bowl, the dressing is already on it. You just stir it up and eat it. I totally forgot to mention the protein here. I added about 3 or 4 ounces of chicken breast that I had prepped earlier in the week to this salad. I don't put the protein in the salad jar when I make the jars. I keep it separate and put it on the top at the time that I'm preparing my lunch. So that has been a long time go-to meal prep hack for me to make salad jars. It's something I learned years ago, and it has served me really well. You can see in these salads, I put a little tub of guacamole or mashed avocado on top of each jar, and I added that in. It sort of blends up with the salad dressing and gets really creamy, and it's a really nice way to add in some healthy fats. So it's really unlimited the amount of combinations you can make to do a salad. When I make salad jars, I find that the salad jars stay crisp for like 4 days, maybe 5 depending on the vegetables. If it's a more delicate like spring mix of greens, I would say 3 or 4 days. But romaine, spinach, kale, those will last 4 or 5 days. So I can prep 5 salads and have one every day that week. You can use any container you want. I just think these jars look really nice, and they also take up a little more vertical space instead of shelf space in my refrigerator. If you've watched any of my videos, you know that there are so many times when I just don't want to do things the long, hard way. These salad jars, I was down for it. I was like, I want to make them from scratch. I want to cut up all the veggies. I want to roast the veggies. And sometimes I do get in that mood, and that's great. But I would have to say the majority of the time, I am looking for shortcuts. And I mentioned, meal delivery. They've kind of worked it all out for me. They've got all of the different components in the thistle salads. Also, there are salads at Panera, and you can get a salad bowl at Chipotle that meet all of these criteria, where you can have a bed of lettuce with some protein on it, some beans, some veggies, some kind of fun add-ins, like a little bit of cheese, and then some salad dressing on top. So if I'm going to one of those sort of fast restaurants, I know that there's a big salad meal ready for me. I don't tend to eat at fast food places, but I did some internet research, and almost all of them have salads. So if you are in a pinch and you're getting drive-thru, you don't have to get a burger and fries. You can get a big salad with some chicken on it. And like I said, sometimes I have meal prep fatigue, and for whatever reason, like the thought of prepping salad jars just feels too overwhelming, or maybe I'm just busy. And so that's when I will either order Thistle or go to the supermarket and buy pre-made salad stuff, or eat out, or some combination of that. You can buy bags of pre-washed, pre-cut greens, coleslaw mix, broccoli slaw mix. All those things can be the base of a salad really easily. And you don't even really need to meal prep it so much as just have those ingredients on hand to throw a handful of a bag of coleslaw mix with a can of tuna and put a little dressing on it, and that's the base, right? And then add more things to it if you are so inclined, but you're getting your greens, your protein in that meal without needing to do a whole bunch of meal prep. There are certain salads I know that my grocery store I go to the most often, which is Publix, that they've got a certain Mediterranean salad and a certain salmon salad that I know I like, and so sometimes I will grab one or two of those and have those on hand. Let me show you 3 real salads I ate this week. You've seen some pictures already when I was talking about the formula. So I did some meal prep, and I had these salad jars prepped with some guacamole on them. Then another salad that I had this week was the Harvest, I'll put the full name up here, I can't remember the actual name, but some kind of harvesty salad with chicken in it from Panera. That was my dinner one night this week. I fully realize this Panera salad is pretty high in calories, more than I would typically eat at a meal. My dietitian came up with a number for me to lose weight slow and steady. Given my size, my activity level is to shoot for about 1,700 calories a day and to not go below 1,500 calories a day. So this eating like over 700 calories at a meal isn't something I do all the time, but it's not hard to fit that in to my day. I just have to, be cognizant of my other meals. And honestly, it's more of a struggle for me to hit that 1,500 to 1,700 calorie mark to get enough calories versus going over. So I'm not too worried when I have a pretty calorie heavy meal like this. I also think I usually don't use all the salad dressings. I'm probably eating a little bit less calories than this. I'm 5'9". I'm not a petite person, so I have relatively higher caloric needs. So I just wanted to acknowledge that, yeah, this isn't a low calorie meal, but it feels like a balanced meal to me. In general, I try to make my salads about 500 calories since, if I eat 3 500 calorie meals a day, then I'm hitting that minimum target of calories. And then if I have a snack, then, that'll bump me up to closer to the upper end of my range. And if you're struggling to make a salad 500 calories because the vegetables, don't add up to very much, it's the nuts, it's the healthy fats that will just take you right up there really fast. A tablespoon of oil and an ounce of nuts, and you're almost at 300 calories, I think. You add in some starchy carbs and you're almost there. And then because I had the salad jars, I'd made the same salad every day. There was one day when I didn't want a salad for lunch. And for dinner that night, I threw a salad together of some bagged shredded cabbage that I had in the fridge, and I shredded some carrots and then made a little like peanut sesame dressing and put some leftover chicken on it. I forgot to take a picture, but it was good. It was kind of like an Asian-y, cabbage chicken dressing with like a soy sauce peanut dressing. I really like the predictability of just having a rule in my head, like eat a salad every day. Like I said, it takes the decision fatigue out of at least one of my main meals. I know one of them will be a salad, and so it just narrows down the scope of what I have to figure out what to make. Or if it's prepped already, I don't even have to figure it out. And I make sure when I'm either ordering or making salads that it meets my protein and fiber target of, at least 25 or 30 grams of protein and a good chunk of fiber. The recommended amount of fiber per day for women is 25 to 35 grams. And so, 8 or more per meal is great. If you're eating some beans and some veggies, you're gonna hit that. So it is a way that helps me stay on track just by knowing that, I'm gonna have a salad. It does end up influencing how I order in restaurants, because if I've already had a salad at lunchtime and I'm out to dinner with my family, I might get like tacos or something. But if I haven't had a salad yet, then I kind of just know like, well, I need my salad, and I'll order a salad with some salmon on it or something. I'm wondering if there's something that you eat every day that helps you stay on track. Let me know in the comments. I try to answer every single comment, but give me some time. I'm a little behind right now. If you're looking for more food ideas, check out my snacking video next. See you next week. Bye. Oh, my backpack is sliding down the wall and making crinkling noises. I hope you can't hear that.